Hey guys, hello and welcome to a new episode of Behind the Scenes of Inspired Eye. This one is number 42. I'm joined with Don. How are you, buddy?
Doing pretty good. How are you? How's everybody out there?
Doing great, man. Just,
Good.
kind of tired, but that's kind of what you get for having kids, I guess. So let's start with this beautiful cover. So what do you see in this image there, man?
Okay, well, it's interesting. It's very interesting because I think since issue one, basically, we have been kind of catering to street photography, even though this is the Inspired Eye, and the Inspired Eye essentially should be Inspired Vision. But because we're both street photographers, and most of our readers, I guess, are too, so we've been going that direction with street stuff. But this photo is not. This photo is different. I look, essentially street photography is a blanket or an umbrella for everything, every form of photography, every genre. It all covers the same. So a street shooter has to be able to do everything. And in that sense, then this photograph is a street photograph. But really it's not. It's like a portrait. But it's for me, it's just a beautiful image. It's just absolutely beautiful. The woman reminds me of Madonna, younger age for some reason. And it's very powerful. It's just a very clean, sweet, nice image. I look at her right arm, the way the light on her right arm, and then go to the opposite side of the screen on the glass or whatever that is, the candle or whatever. It's the opposite. It's like a very similar shape, but a higher bright. Now, obviously, the shooter could have darkened that. And if you even take your thumb and put it over that, it works. But it creates a really good triangle in eye travel with that spot, her forehead, of course, and the face and stuff, and then come down to her arm that way. You got this beautiful triangle of eye travel. Plus, then you got her other shoulder and the arm and her hand. So it's very interesting. Of course, her breast and the top shoulder. There's a lot of triangles working her hair and everything. So it's a very strong, very powerful image. It's sweet and it's tender, and I just think it's beautiful.
Yeah, there's the large triangle here, the reverse one with her shirt. The thing about this is like the eye travel is like, the whole image just goes down, just drags you down because of how she goes down. Like her eyes, they're closed,
Right.
but it kind of with how her head is kind of slightly tilted, like you cannot help but to go, on the lower side and just observe what's there. It's really a great image. The one thing about street photography is like I gave up the term in my mind a long time ago and I replaced it with life photography because I'm like, okay, I wake up and I see my kid playing on a computer, his toy computer, and it's like there's a beautiful light. I'm making the shot, and I don't know what that is, but for me, it's street photography. That's the same thing, the same mentality that I have in the streets. I bring it everywhere. So for me, it's life photography, a lot of people.
For me, it's just photography.
Yeah, photography. Yeah. It's just that I do make the difference between certain types of photography because some of them are commercial with the explicit intent to sell you something. You know what I mean? It's all about the intent, I believe. So.
But yeah, it is. And the thing is, like, people want to belong. They want to have a sense of belonging to something, So, it's like, because I had a discussion not that long ago with a couple people. And it's like you want to, they want to belong. Oh, I got the same camera he does. Or I'm a street photographer. I fit in with street photographer. It's an esoteric thing. Yes, an esoteric thing would be about 140 million people running around with cameras making photos. So how esoteric is it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But okay, let's move on.
The one thing about street though, for me, it's like I don't know if you've ever played a game called Othello or Reversi. It's like that thing. You can learn it in literally 3 minutes, but it's just so hard to do at the end of the day.
Yeah.
For me, that's street photography. It's like it's very accessible. Therefore, there's a lot of people, but to really like have a fluent understanding of it, that's what's I think a lifelong. It's a lifelong commitment. I do like the way he sees color. Sherry, Shmurry, I don't know how to say his name. Like
Omri, right?
Omri, yeah. You
Yeah.
know, is and this one with the red, with the lady in a red color shirt and the red telephone, and this here, and pretty good timing here too, especially with the, you know, kind of a critique or observation of the modern world. You know, obsessed with work, 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 and
Yeah.
you know, charts and the dollar sign. Really interestingly, what I really like is, like, if you look here, you know, that's not English, that's Hebrew, you know, so it's kind of universal. You know, that's what I like about this image. It's universal, this drive for work and profit charts and whatnot.
The money side, you know, the money side, the symbol for money, you know. That's nice too. These are all nice. This is real nice. I mean, he did a really good eye, you know. It's really tuned in.
You spoke of a triangle in the cover. There's another triangle here. You can see the light, its reflection, and, you know, his face being blown out. The triangle, it's a really interesting shape. It's my favorite shape to have in an image because it's so dynamic. You know, just because of the corners. It's something to be highly desired, I believe. And
yeah, it's nice.
You know, there's triangle here. Really great.
That's nice too. Nice timing and framing. That's beautiful too. I don't see, you know, I don't have color like that in Philadelphia. I mean, maybe I do. I just don't see it. I never really tuned into it or saw it. You know, my friend Paul McGurk, years and years and years ago, he moved to Washington D.C. and you know, we were both doing black and white all the time, constantly running through my darkroom, making prints and negatives and stuff. And then he was in Washington for a while, and I didn't see him for like 8 or 9 months. And I went down for a visit, and he was shooting transparency film. And I asked him, Paul, you know, what's going on with all this color stuff? And he explained to me it really was out of necessity. Number one, he had no access to any darkrooms for printing black and white in Washington. And number two is you could buy transparency, Ektachrome or Kodachrome back in the day, and shoot the film, take it to a lab, they processed it and gave you back color slides. So it was very convenient. But that was my first real introduction to color, to really looking at color, the stuff that he did. And this is like the same thing. This is like 40 years later, you know. There's just something about it that I don't see. I see it like now in someone's work, but I don't see it for myself. I hardly ever see color for myself sometimes, but it's usually not as intricate as this, you know, where it's incorporated into the image. But, you know, if you know what I'm saying, like for me, it becomes like the exclamation point in the image. And here it's not the exclamation point. Here the image is, and the color just happens to be part of what makes it work.
Yeah, it's you gotta develop your eye for it. Like, you can see some subtle signals here, like, you know, the same kind of pink thing. Like,
yeah.
I understand what you're saying. There's another part too. It's like, it also depends on where you live, because I do see disproportionate amount of really great color images in equatorial countries.
Oh, look, Israel's great for
You know,
color.
Israel. You're talking Israel. You're talking where Caribbean and a lot of southern countries too, like Brazil. I'm like, there's something about the color there, and you know, I thought it was I'm saying this, but I thought it was a cop out until I'm like, no, it's true, because, you know, sometimes I look explicitly, I'm like, okay, I'm going to make a color shot. And it's like, no, I can't. I'm like, I'm looking all around. It's like, it does not, you know, there's something about the life there. There's something about the, you know, the sun too, you know, how the color,
the light,
the light reflects off of stuff, you know, it's really different. If you come here, you know, usually it's like landscape here where I am in a small island off of Korea. It's like, it's where landscape photographers come to die, man. It's like, you will wait for a stupid sunset for forever. You know what I mean? It's just not there. And, you know, it's okay. That's why you have to, open your heart and mind to something else. You know, if you can't do something, then you got to find what else is there.
Yeah, that's right. Right.
This reminds me of like shadow puppets, probably.
Oh yeah,
something she intended there.
She got a very strong sense of the frame. That's a great. I mean, I've seen a lot of people do a shot like that, but she's got it. You know, she nailed it.
Yeah,
absolutely nailed it. That could be in Hollywood, you know.
Yeah, it's great. It's not just like this circle; it's also repeated circles within that. I mean, to frame, a lot of people don't understand that, but the frame is also a shape. So this is not just a circle. You're looking at a rectangle, and there's a circle inside that rectangle, and there's a bigger circle because of the I don't know what these are, but there's circle, 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 but it's inside of a rectangle. Never forget that also this is probably the most important shape. Then you're going to put something inside it. But what's good is that she didn't just put that person there. It's very dynamic, with her timing. There's some tension going on there. There's some tension going on there because
and waiting,
yeah, waiting. So,
off center of the frame, outside in the dynamic zone of the X, and then going into it. It's just perfect. It's visually perfect.
Yeah, yeah. Because if it was straight in the middle. A lot of people think the middle is the perfect place. It is, but it's just like the eye of a storm in a sense. Apparently if you go right in the eye, it's very calm or something. It's completely calm, but it's as soon as you go a little bit off the edges, that's where you're in trouble. That's the same thing. If you go in the middle, if you slightly offset, that's where the tension is.
Yeah, that's right. Oh boy, do I relate to that? I think every kid hates the barbershop when they're younger. I mean, now I like it because I go to it's called the hair cutlery or something, It's okay. But the barbershop, actually, when I was a kid, going to the barbershop was like torture.
Nah, I wouldn't know. My mom she was a barber, a really good one, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she used to do my stuff. What I do hate it is when, she removed her, whatever that is, that thing to protect you, and it's removed it. It's the hair there.
Yeah, the hair all over, yeah.
But this is one of those great images where it's she's not stopping what she's doing, she's integrating her photography with her life, And this is what's great. She's tagging along with those kids. I mean, here is let's call it street shot. She probably went out for that, but the one before, it was a normal appointment, and then she made this image. So that's what I relentlessly preach is turn the camera not only in the streets because you're part of the streets too, but to your life. And I'm pretty sure it's your life. You can find some much more interesting things there. It makes a much more interesting picture because guess what? You're connected to your life. Actually, at least you should be, with your kids.
Yeah, and hold on to this. And another thing that the photography school, go back to that, please, the other image. The other one. No. Back. Yeah, there. I mean, one of the things the photography schools or workshops teach is a sharp point of focus. Keep everything in focus, And, I suppose that really is true because whatever is the sharpest point of focus in a frame is your eyes going to first, whether you wanted it to or not. That's where it's going. And so if we go by less is more and contrast, then the eye will also go to the area of least sharpness, what's out of focus, like right here in this guy's face here. So that's really something to pay attention to. I mean, there's a lot of people that work that way, but you have to be conscious about it, of playing with a point of focus, and a point of, I call it defocus. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you're talking about contrast is it's the extremes. If you go to New York, you're going to see the poorest and the richest. You're not going to see the average person. So it's the same thing there too.
I was up there today.
Oh, right. Yeah. I actually miss it. This is just great. I saw it. It's oh man, such a great image.
Yeah, I like all her work.
Very tightly composed, and this figure just walking, but he was not just walking. He's just it's a very
it's the stride that he's taking.
Yeah, a super stride. It looks like he's floating, effortless. You
Yeah,
know,
especially with the back of his apron or cape, whatever it is, or cloak. It's just kind of, that's not normal, but it is normal. It's just kind of like dragon. It's beautiful shape.
and
Real,
he's interestingly he's going down as if like he's retiring, he's done with his work, and it's like okay, time to let it go now, going down. Interesting,
yeah, it's very elegant.
very interesting, and very dualistic in the sense that there's on top, which is very smooth and stuff, and here it's very rugged. It's you divide the frame really quickly when you see this image, and there's also a very really interesting. He's probably tall, I guess, I don't know, but really, really, really well framed here. Really, really good timing too.
She got a hell of an eye, man. That's beautiful too. I love that.
Yeah. She said she was inspired by Vivian Meyer or something. I was like, oh, it looks like it. I was like, yeah. You can see the influence there. It doesn't mean anything, but what I do dig is something you can't find in any Vivian Meyer's image is this Tweety bird there, and it just adds to the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's to her, nature too. I think she's a mom, right?
Who?
She's a mom, right?
Who? Christina? Yeah.
Yeah. So this also speaks to that. And this image here on the right is like amazing color, man.
The one on the left is perfect, man.
You like the left one?
Yeah, it's just such a play on dimension. You know what I mean? It's wild,
But the one thing is, and that's what I dig with Inspired Eye. I mean, yes, we make it, but we can also like what we do. It's like whenever I'm done with something else, like I'll never make any reflection shot again. It's overdone, and then somebody just comes out and do something like that. It's like, okay, you can do it. It's amazing how people just find. Well, it is all about recycling the world, I guess. It's the same world. We shoot the same thing, but it's all about seeing it in an interesting way.
Well, the thing is, Oliver, is that I'm sorry, we're recording. The thing, Olivier, is that back in the day, like Bresson and Cortez and Walker Evans and all, Paul Strand, Stieglitz and all, Steichen, photography was at its birth. It's really coming into, really being recognized as an art form, especially by the Philadelphia Museum of Art, and the thing is that, like, I don't want to use the word competition, but let's just use that for lack of a better word. The competition. I mean, when Bresson was out shooting, how many people you would think were even near him or around him, with a camera making photos with the intent that he had, or anybody else? There really wasn't, to use the word, there really wasn't much competition out there. Now, everybody and their grandmother has a camera. And if it's a grandmother, she's probably got to like it. Everybody has a camera, and there's nothing that is untouched photographically. From the birth of an infant to the death of somebody to war. And everything in between has all been done. And it's been done over and over and over. And the only thing that makes anybody's work any different is the intent that they do it with. There's nothing else. Nothing else will matter in the end. What is your intent when you're making your work? That's it. That's what separates everybody.
Yep. And here's Kate's work.
Yeah, Keith, yeah. That's a classic. I actually like that better than Bresson's photo because of the environment,
Yeah, you were talking about Bresson. This one was as a recall of that. The thing is, man, it's, a lot of things, like, first of all, it's positioning in your head, because you've seen the Bresson shot, it's there, and then you see this and you're going to compare it to a Bresson shot. I mean, it's fine. And because what happens is when you see something like that, like an image like that, you can always see it as a remix. And quite frankly, sometimes the remixes are better than the original things, so there's a lot of songs I prefer the remix rather than the original song itself. So this image, I guess for you, Don, is like that. You prefer this one to Bresson's, and what's it?
No, that's not it. I mean, luckily enough, I have to admit, and I've told this from other people, especially Dane, I have an ability to see a photograph for its own life
Mm-hmm.
and not really compare. I'm just saying that the idea was similar to what Rasan did. I like this idea better. It's got both, not that I like it better than Rasan, or I like Rasan's better than this. I don't see it that way. They're both individual photographs, and I love them both.
The thing is, it has to be a conscious thing for me. Like, I have to consciously say, this is this guy's work. Do not compare it. Do not, just remove all your baggage and stuff and look at it. You know what I mean? But, the one thing which I find interesting is this one was premeditated. Brisson's shot was pure luck. So that's what I actually like this one.
They say that to anybody that,
What?
They say that a bunch of nonsense. They say that he stuck his camera through a hole in a wall or fence or something, and clicked. And that's bullshit. Come on.
He said it. That's it's like
he's a photographer like anybody else, dude. I hate to tell you that. All right, take away the mystique. All right.
Well, I'm sorry. That's what he said. I was like, oh, really? Well, we all know that he's dead now. We can't ask him, can we? But
his work is still alive.
Well, yeah, but did he do it by chance? Like, that's what he said. He said that he just stuck his camera.
Yeah, that's right.
Complete luck. Absolute 100% luck, So that's what he said. I have no reason not to believe him. So that's why I think the other one is interesting.
But it doesn't matter anyway.
Oh, yeah, it's a great
what
image.
matters is
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
This is interesting because there's buildings behind, and it creates so much depth with the shadows.
Yeah.
Like, it's a very layered image starting from the bottom right and coming to you. Things are getting bigger and the shadows are playing around.
I looked at this and looked at it, and because we do gardening, Tanya especially, and I do some gardening when she lets me, but we really are into gardening, you know what I mean? And I looked at this and I figured, how the hell they water those plants? They water those plants.
You just spray it with sprinkler, man. No need to. Yeah, come on, man.
How'd they get them up there? How'd they get them up there?
Or there's a guy that has a pole that's removes them and waters them, I guess.
It just freaked me out. I was looking at it how'd they get the plants up there? How did they put food in there? And how do they water it?
I have no idea.
Well, this is a really nice shot. I'll go back. It's a really nice shot. I really like this photograph, man. And he did the perfect job cropping this. Absolutely dead on perfect.
Which one? The middle one?
Huh?
Which one?
This photograph. You got 3 guys here smoking, right? Or 2 guys smoking. Mm-hmm. It's just perfect, man. That's such a knocked-out photograph, man. Mm. That's one that will be a keeper for him for life. I guess he knows it. I don't know. It's like a triptych, you know what I mean? Just put all 3 together. They work so well together. It's just perfect.
Well, let's go off on a quick tangent. This is something that we talk about in our course. It's laying out images side by side, and also the story that they speak, that they tell. These images are good by themselves, but also they're even stronger, once you put them together. And there's a lot of things here, smoking on the right and left, non-smoking on the middle, slightly off, they're not dead center on the right and left, and this guy is dead center on the center. There's lots of things to ponder too. So when you're looking at your images, you got to see them as individual images, but also how do they fit in the whole? It's like writing a novel or something. Yeah.
How they work in sequence.
Yeah.
All the smoking, that's a nice shot. All the smoking is killing me, man.
Smoke. Do not smoke, kids. It is bad for you.
I smoked for decades. I stopped. It wasn't easy. I hate the smell when I love smoking. Such a nice thing.
I hate the smell, but I love smoking.
I hate the smell. I hate the way it makes me feel, but I really like smoking.
That's interesting.
Nice stuff. Another heavy color shooter.
Yeah, Nico has a.
I hate that black and white. I don't know why. I mean, what I see is the white thing on her collar here, the fur,
Mm-hmm.
and her white face like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the background, I would have just blown it out like in black and white, and it had that really cool glow to it. But in color, it's so nice. But I still see color like that, man.
Mm-hmm.
I see what when I see from someone else's work. But I don't. I never see it like that to say, oh, I'm going to make this shot. It's in color.
Yeah, you see whatever you train your mind to see. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna say I've abandoned color, but I've abandoned color for probably as soon as I started. I'm like, I am not going to be a color shooter, and that's why I do black and whites, and I'm pretty good at it. But I did make that choice, but it's because conscious choice, and my subconscious said yes, sir. So I only see black and white, but I can appreciate color, and a lot of these guys have probably an innate understanding of color and how it and I can and I'm a graphic designer. I'll tell you that I cannot design without a color wheel. I'll be straight honest with you because I don't know how the colors work. I mean, I can.
That's cool that way.
Like look at this. Look at this color. It's like it's pink and pink, and it's red. It's like, oh yeah, I can understand that, but all of those other minimal stuff that, these guys see color because they somehow understand which relationships work. I understand what relationships work on paper. I just don't have it like that,
Yeah, the funny thing is about this is that, I traded my X100T and what's that thing called? The GX8. I traded them two cameras, and now I got the Fuji X100F.
Ooh.
And there's which I love the camera because when I gave you the S, I just so I absolutely love the camera. I wanted it since the beginning, but Adobe of course has not put the codes in for being able to shoot RAW and process yet. I can shoot it, but I can't process it. So I'll shoot. So everything I'm shooting in JPEG, and everything is in black and white, and I'm looking at it, and the images are great. I mean, the black and white, the tone, the contrast, the sharp, everything is beautiful. But I keep looking to say, just in case I want to have color. I will never use color. I might make maybe 20 color images in a year or 2 years. But when someone tells me I can't do it, now I want to do it. You know what I mean?
You can't do it.
And tell me, no, Don, you're not going to shoot RAW with this camera.
No, but it's the thing is, like, if you want, I don't know if you guys know who are listening, you shoot in color and you create better black and whites because you have control over the black and whites. But the thing is, it's actually a pretty good exercise. You revisit your old work into a style that you don't usually do. So if you had black and white stuff, try to make them in color. If you had color stuff, try to do them black and white, and see, not everything is going to be translate as well because, at the end of the day, you have what you have and you're stuck with it. It's not magical, but it's a good thing. And, you know what the F in X100 stands for?
What?
Fanboy. Fanboy, dude.
Don't get cute, dude. Don't do it. There's too many X shooters on here.
Oh, man. All my exes are going to kill me, huh?
I got plenty of X's. I get 3 X's and 3 X cameras. There you go. Every time a new X model comes out, it's time for a new wife. That's a nice shot too.
Yeah. Speaking of color again, dude, it's really, really well seen. I would have seen the composition, but it's like beautiful, beautiful, great shot. Look at this guy's arm, and
I still see black and white. I'm sorry. I think it's beautiful black and white.
It is. It would make it great black and white too. But everything.
That's not the point, though. He did it the way he did it, which is fine. And
it's something I try to resist to do, not to force my vision upon somebody else's image. I do it just by like that because, I'm inside my head and I see it. I see how I would do it because, well, that's what I do. But, it's also something I try to respect other people's work enough to just like look at it the way they wanted it, the way they saw it. I dig to this here with, like he's going under his sleeve. Really interesting.
Yeah. I can't do it the way you do because my shrink is inside my head, so I can't go inside my head to look at things. I gotta just do it. The shrink is in there,
just like
That's great.
just like that thing you said about the original, well, the first image with the lady. If you put your hands with that circle here, you know,
Yeah.
it really adds to the image. Without, you think it distracts you, but it actually creates some tension there.
No, that blue is key.
Yeah.
That blue circle is key to the image because it ties it ties in like to the tie and everything else. You know, it's key. But see, the point that I'm making is that maybe if I was right there, maybe I would make a photograph similar to that, but I wouldn't even think about doing it in color. You know, and that bothers me. I mean, it really, I'll be honest with you, it really does bother me because it's nice, it's perfect color. I love the way the high tones on the shirt are kind of like almost blown out, not, but almost blown out. And it's so nice like that. And the white on his face there, the light. So I would see that in black and white, and I would darken the complete left edge, and I would darken the right edge, and have it like dark and him standing out in the darkness. And I see that in my head. And that's what I see, and that's how I see. But I want to know, why does Nico see this in color? You understand what I'm saying? Why do people see that in color and I don't? That's what I find interesting. See right there.
It's okay. I see in black and white too. And this guy is like, this image is really, 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 really good. You know, it's like a guy getting caught going out of a sex shop, and like look at that glow. I mean, it probably is a great color image too, because those neons in color, my friend, they're amazing. You know, especially this is probably pink. But
now he knows when to use color versus black and white. He's right on it.
A great image, because it looks like this guy, you know, just like caught red-handed. And
coming out with his hands.
And really good, you know, concept too. You know, just waiting for a guy. Actually, probably wouldn't do that. Just get beat up or something.
Well, you don't know, yeah.
You never know what kind of shady character comes out or something.
Yeah, that's just it. You don't know. You don't know. Martin's a really interesting dude, man. We spent a lot of time going back and forth on Messenger.
Yeah, this is a very dynamic, like content-wise, dynamic image. You know, look at this guy with a hoodie, and you know, kind of looks like a ninja, and compare that to Mr. Policeman, you know, which also is hidden behind his mask and his shield. Really interesting. And you got this guy's face on the right. Those are very interesting. And
that's a burqa, right? She's wearing a burqa, right?
Well, that's not a burqa. That's like a guy in a kind of like a hoodie with I don't know, face mask or whatever. I don't know what you call that.
You think so?
Oh yeah, it's not a. Is it a burqa? No, I don't know. I don't know. I think it's a guy.
It is, because I think that's what makes the photograph. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's the thing, because you see two different interpretations, and I mean, it could be. I think the burqa is a one piece thing, but that was actually my first interpretation until, you know, I looked at it for a while. I'm like, no, that's something else. But that's good, because that's exactly, I think, what he wanted. You know, that kind of, you can either see something, you know, burqa and stuff, you know, with the police, or somebody like more like a hooded person, and how you interpret that person. But you do interpret some tension anyways. You know, look at that. They're looking on the left, which is interesting.
Well,
because looking
right. Looking right at you.
Yeah. There's also it's a start of conflict and stuff, you know. That's what's really interesting.
And I love that shield. He's got that shield there, and you can see the heads and the shield. That's awesome looking, man. And you look at those heads and that shield there, then you look the two there from the poles, the heads coming up, you know, that's really, woo.
And it's a very timeless image too. There's nothing would indicate anything, you know, what time period you are, giving it like kind of a more universal type message.
You might think it was D.C.
Yeah.
Washington, D.C. on the Trump move, you know. That's nice too. Look at that, beautiful. Yeah. Alice in Wonderland.
She looks like an angel too, with her like the blanket.
Yeah.
And look at that. Look at that thing going down here, just beautifully going down.
That's cool. He makes really cool photos.
Yep, he does make really.
I
don't know if they're cool, but they're like plainly interesting. Does that make sense? Which is what everybody. I like.
But I'm in Philly. You're in Korea, so it's a difference.
Okay. It's like I love the plainly interesting. It's just the way it is, and
I
it's
like photos
amazing.
he makes, man.
It's really great stuff.
And let me ask you a question.
Mhm.
If you stand outside of your house
Yep.
and you look up, can you see missiles flying overhead?
Hey, dude, man, don't go political on the behind the scenes, man.
Not political.
Dude, here's the gist of it. Okay, I'm the southernmost island. Okay, there's a whole lot of people that are gonna get their butts and missiles and stuff. Okay, before me, so I don't. It's like as furthest southernmost point. I'm cool.
Well, that's a nice shot, ain't it? Isn't that nice? Look at that.
Yeah. With those, he has a few carnival stuff.
That guy's name, damn, slipped my mind. Not Leonard Freed. It was someone else.
I know, but he does use the carnival.
Danny something. I can't remember, man.
It's okay, but he does use the carnival to great effect. He has quite a few, I believe. No, is it?
Yeah.
But this image is like great.
That's like, it's like Pacino, Al Pacino.
It looks like Al Pacino. He's giving you because usually you're an observer. Here, he blurs the line between you being an observer and participant, and you can see
That's right.
like his. I mean, it's probably I don't know. Yeah, it's probably just a cigarette, but if you look at his face, it gives this a whole other interpretation than her having her eyes, hidden. It gives the whole thing a very, very different interpretation. And you're in a very interesting point of view. I think it's a very interesting image. It's really, really.
Oh yeah, it's real good.
Lifestyle stuff.
That's a nice shot too up top there. So is that.
The eye is just amazing because everything else is hidden. You interpret a lot of stuff, but like the eye is like almost challenging you and stuff.
Right.
A very tender moment though, because you can see how it's all the fingers are intertwined. It's not like his hands are on hers or something. It's intertwined. Really great.
Yeah. That's great too. That's beautiful.
No, he has some great work.
Oh yeah.
And this is Sam's work.
Yeah, Sam's got he's got that real. I just can't think of people's names anymore, man.
It's okay.
I mean,
as long as you remember yours and stuff.
That's a pretty good photo. That's a real good photo.
If we look at the frame being like here and we divide it and we have an X, so there's a first X here, right? That is the frame, and then there's another line that goes here because of those buildings, and there's another line formed here by the ladies. So it's like it's very great. It's just like 3 repetitions of the same line.
No, I just, it's very powerful. It's very, very powerful.
Plus, I think
and it's kind of like that's this woman in the center. The older woman has a really strong energy.
Yep.
I mean, almost like a voodoo kind of energy.
Yeah, she does.
And the woman with the sunglasses here is like saying, "Don't mess with us, we'll melt you." But then you have the calming look of the woman in the back that settles the energy. You know what I mean? She really does. She settles the energy of the photo.
I do like the fact that she is in the middle because she's older. She should be in on the right, because if you look at past, present, future, she should be on the right because she's on the other side, but she's in the middle and she challenges you. But I do know why you like this image is because of her, because she looks like your wife.
No.
Yes. No. Okay, don't show her that. She'll kill me.
Yeah, she will. That's pretty good too. This is very nice.
But this is like this. When I saw this, it's like, what am I looking at? It's just like, it's like it's dead. It looks dead. It looks like something, but it's real. It's like you can see. Outside is just hustling and bustling, and this guy having this is just like intense moment. It's really, really amazing, and the way he processed the image too is very soft toned. That's the thing. Processing is not something that's added after. It's something that brings out something. It's not add it to, well, you can add it to something and try to revive a dead bird or something, but used correctly, it's something like this where it brings out something, enhances the fact that this guy is, is in his zone. It's really interesting. I don't know, the ball just adds the whole mystery.
It reminds me of like 1984 by George Orwell.
Mm-hmm,
people walk around. And it's a new version, of course. It's a new version of '84. You look at this guy, and then slowly, if you look at his forehead, it's like a computer chip that's running and one over the eye. And he do things like the guy's just standing there. That does not compute. That does not compute. That's what it looks like to me. I know I'm a little bit nutty, but that's how it looks to me.
Yeah,
that's real.
Yeah, real interesting take on the wedding photography thing.
Yep. That's nice too.
And here's Ed. What I do like with Ed, he's the guy that, of course, had the cover shot. It's his. What I do like is the consistency that he has. The images are highly consistent, not only in like the processing, like the processing, and also the subject matter. Pretty women.
Yeah.
Really interesting. He has a non-sexual, very appreciative lens. Okay, because when you look at women, in most guys like shots, they're objectified, but here there's a sort of warmth that he has, probably due because of his lenses. I don't know which one he uses, but it's very loving and warm, even though it's in black and white. That's what I see in his work.
Well, look, you're not going to get that result. The result is not from a camera or a lens. The result is the interaction between the two people, the shooter and the subject. Mm-hmm. And even though the subject may not be tuned into the shooter, like posing or something, they're still doing something, and then the photographer has to respond to that. So there's a relationship going on that he's tuned into that really it transcends the camera and the lens for sure.
Because one note first. It's like the thing is when I say is lens, because for example, look at this, how this is done. It needs to be a certain like very fast aperture. You know what I mean? That's just the way it is. It's a physical. That's what I said. Like he needs it's probably like look at how this is. It's probably like the way it lenses, blurs things. Whatever. I'm not saying he can't do this with another camera, but for the shots that I see, it's like, yeah, probably something very nice. But the one thing is, he doesn't just shoot. What's very interesting is like, these are not simple portraits. These, if I can go back, the women are doing something. She is thinking about something that you're just wondering, what are you thinking about? What are you looking at? Or is it what's this look about? What are you thinking about this guy? Is it love? Is it not her love? Is it like, go screw yourself or something? That's the thing. When he shoots, he doesn't shoot just a woman. Look at this pretty face. It's like the woman is playing with you with this look, or she is thinking in deep thought, and it's compassion. That's why I say it's very compassionate and warm. It's because to notice someone's else doing something, you have to be compassionate, because if you're a self-centered jerk, you don't care about other people and what they feel or however they feel, The
lower left is one of the strongest photographs.
The dynamic there. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's not even about women. It's just, like I said, it's his observation. He's a really good observer, and he has really good timing.
Yeah. Well, it is.
He knows where the shot is at. You really do need to know where. That's why when I write on my blog, I tell people about the natural field of view, because that's where your shot's at. And he knows that whatever lens the camera's using, he knows about where he needs to be if something's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then he just like moses over and just waits like this.
This is really perfect timing with the hands being the same.
Yeah. Absolutely. There's no doubt.
And for something else, which is very colorful too, this guy's very in your face with his carnival stuff.
Yeah, Honeywell type color.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really great. It's like in your
Oh
face
yeah.
with, and I'm pretty sure what he digs the, because you're in your face, you know, there's kind of a surprise element that he probably relishes in. You know, if you look at their eyes and how they are, this one is challenging you, but this one is like, what you doing? You know?
Yeah, they're all good. It's real nice.
Those are very interesting because it's not what you see, it's what you don't see too. So imagining there's a whole bunch of these people around, yet he chooses to photograph these certain people, you know, and the other question is like, why? You know, it's very interesting because it's a carnivals probably.
Yeah, but it's nice he's using flash too, you know, so he's got but he's not playing with it, he's using it.
Why do you make that difference?
Why do I make that difference? Because a lot of people use flash and they get trickery with it. You know what I mean? Like
trickery,
like not freezing, like freezing the subject and letting the background drift, you know, through time, like for a tenth of a second or eighth or something.
Okay.
You know, which is very common effect. But he did a little bit here, but he's just using it as his source of light.
Yeah, because there's the whole background too with the fishy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you mean. He doesn't. You're saying
he's using it as his source of light. He's not playing with it. You know?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say people's names.
Basically, you're saying that he is like, for example, this blur is. I'm not saying it's not intentional, but it's not just the effect. Look at my blurry background and look at what I can do with my flash. Is that correct?
Well, look at the upper left. You got the nice soft blur.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably about a tenth or 20th of a second or something like that in the background, and the flash, of course, freezes the foreground. And then look at the picture right below it, and you see that, of course, the flash is freezing this person here, but available light is shutter speed's high enough to freeze things back here too. And you know, so what happens is that by doing it this way, it's actually depth of field, but it's like a blurred depth of field, you know. So you get kind of like a frozen image when the bottom shot. And yet on the top, it's frozen also, but the background is movement. And if you look at her mouth and stuff and the energy, that fits in with that scene right there. Because it's like you got that movement, you know what I mean? Yeah. But down the bottom, it's kind of like just, you look at this person's face, it's just like start, get boom. And that's what it did. It just like froze everything.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. I see what you mean, because some people do, like, it's more like a trick. Look at I completely agree.
Okay.
I should agree, right?
I'm not saying nothing.
Okay. Now, this guy is like flipping amazing, especially with his color coordination. Like here, it's green. I mean, green. But if you start looking at his work, it's like not only did he got two things going for him. It's not only the color, but also the interaction of things in the frame. It's just so really well done. Makes me want to go to Brazil. Look at this complex stuff. Look at this, like the line going here and the kids in the foreground and this guy in the background.
He has
a sense of depth that is really interesting.
You know what he has? He has a sense of tourism.
Which in his own country, which is really interesting.
Well, look, I'm a tourist in Philadelphia. I lived here all my life. Yeah. Wherever I go, I'm a tourist. We're all tourists, you know? But the thing is, he's working as you're feeling like, I mean, of course they're good photos, but it's a sense that he's a tourist in what he's doing. He's really observing and seeing. It's not like he's saying, I'm going to go out and make photos. I'm going to go out and see the world today with my camera. You know, do you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
Okay.
And he also has a sense of death. I mean,
and a sense of humor.
and says a what?
A sense of humor.
Oh yeah, dude, unbelievable sense of humor.
Yeah.
Like I keep saying sense of depth, so let's look back a little bit. Let's move back. I mean, his stuff is layered. Look at that front. And Tioni, I mean, besides size, you know, if you have somebody that's on the far, they're going to be small, and somebody that's big is kind of close. But if
Right.
you layer them, layer means, putting one in front of the other. Now you just created that. Look, this guy's in front of this guy, because, his shoulder touches the other guy. Well, not doesn't touch, but touches
Yeah.
this guy because you're in a 2D picture, and it's the same thing, not that much here, but for most of his stuff, front, middle, background, foreground, middle, and background. Foreground, midground, background, and even further down background, and same thing over and over here.
Yeah.
So I don't know what Vaja is. What my little Spanish I have is like, it's a pure expression of recalque. It sounds like something that's like a refrain sexual thing. So it's probably important to, not that important to its expression. You can see what they're doing, kind of like, stinging up to the man, I guess, writing on yourself. So I don't think you even need the interpretation of this to understand the image.
Right. Right.
Because even her, what you would say, she's way too young for lipstick. She has it. And,
Femininity.
yeah, femininity.
Man.
You can see there's, protesting about something, with the excuse me, with the signs.
In America, they would knock that guy off the top of that thing.
Oh, they would?
Because it's like all the females down the bottom and the guy on the top.
Yeah.
And get him the hell off there.
Yep.
This is great with
Yeah,
Batman.
man.
I love it. Yeah. That's pretty good. That's interesting shot, man. He's got a thing for those uniform type
Yeah.
things. This is cool. Very
So I
cool.
think not only that, again, that layering going on here again, and
Yeah.
what I do like is when you're a short time tourist in a place, you tend to be compartmentalized in the sense that you're looking at it and it's like, look, something pretty, look, something
Yeah.
ugly, look, something interesting. One thing at a time, one thing that's at a time, one thing. It's very compartmentalized, but he has the uncanny ability to show that together in this frame. There's the normal people going out to the beach, just doing it themselves. And here you have a military guy. And here you have whoever this is who doesn't look too happy. And you got people, the normal stuff every kid loves, which is ice cream. And it's really a great portrait of everything. That's the thing that's my point. Because it's very easy, especially if you go to a new country, to just compartmentalize things. Not having
That's what it's saying. It's like tourist. He's like
but
tourist.
let's say it like this: an educated tourist, or a respectful tourist, or just appreciate it, because there's different types of tourism. If we remove photography, to the domain of photography for a while, there's different types of tourism. There was one tourism that's going to do every single thing that is presupposed of you to do. You're going to go to Disneyland. You're going to, you know what I mean? It's very, you're in another country, but you don't understand it. You're there for a little while in a preset destination, if you see what I mean. And there's other kind of tourism that is like, I want to live like these people live and see how they see, which is what he has, because he lives there too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. But being a tourist is about the most noblest thing you could ever be in this world.
Yeah.
Everybody talks, oh, look like a tourist. Really? I love to look like a tourist. I work at looking like a tourist.
So a lot of his images actually makes me recall a lot of paintings. Like, let's go back. Back. Because there's lots of frozen interactions with things outside of the frame. Like this guy, it's out. Her, it's out. Him, it's out. He's looking at her, almost like a theater play or something.
Well, that's I travel. That's perfect.
And I'll just say it. Not streets are created the same. Like you won't find this in the U.S., for example. So
Right.
that's why if you want stuff like that, go to Brazil or something really interesting, because there's probably more life in the streets than, I do guess the more first world you are, the less stuff there is in the streets because, you know, people have their houses and whatever, you know, air conditioned crap. But in other countries, you know, it's outside. Life is outside.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
This was on the left did not make sense, and like in the his whole style, it did not make sense. But I'm like, this needs to go here, man. It's just so amazingly well done, you know, with the devil horn. And if you look at her tattoo, it's like this guy looking at you like a devil. It's like,
yeah, that's perfect. He knows what he's doing.
Great stuff, man.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
And we've reached the end of
the end. Okay.
So, guys, we hope that you got a lot from this discussion. See you next time in the next issue. I believe it's 43 because 43 comes after 42. Yep. So see you then, guys.
Yeah, 43. Yeah. Have a good one. Take care. Be blessed. Good lights, everybody.